Hi, I promised to give you the story of the name of Axis and how it was evolving. Our first company name was actually not Axis, it was Gren and Carlson Firmware. That's a really cool name, Gren and Carlson Firmware. And this is Mr. Carlson, who is my co-founder at that time. So we really liked that name, it was kind of cool, right? So, however, we also had a logo. It's beautiful gray, Firmware AB. Yeah. So then we meet this guy because we realize we need somebody who has some sales background as well. Because I was the engineer, Michael, he was business administration, and we needed someone who had experience out of sales. So we meet this guy here, and this guy, his name is Keith Bloodworth. He's a British guy. And because we couldn't agree upon the value of the Gren and Carlson firmware, so he could actually purchase some shares, instead we decided to form a new company, because that was easy, because the high value of Gren and Carlson firmware, obviously he didn't want to pay for that. However, Keith did not like the name. The name was horrible. So Keith, he said that, well, the name of the company should be Axis. And we said, like, what? Well, Keith, he said, Axis, that comes from IBM Coax and IBM TwinAX, which were the two protocols that we were supporting at the time. So that made it the Axis. And then he also said that beginning with an A is good because then you come first in alphabetical listings. So Michael and I, we said, hey, we can change the name into Gren and Carlson and Bloodworth firmware. But no, Keith totally disagreed and did not like that at all. So anyway, the first logo was then developed and it looked like this. Axis Communications AB. And if you read the fine print, and it may be mirrored, you can see it says a subsidiary to Gren and Carlson firmware. Because we had 80% of Axis and Keith had 20%. So obviously there was some built-in friction from the start. Anyway, after a couple of years, so the logo changed. And now it was just Axis Communications, because we finally came to our minds and realized that there was no value in Gren and Carlson firmware. And then after this, we hire a marketing manager. And I think you know what happens when you hire a marketing manager, right? Well, you get color. And in our case, we didn't just get one color, we got two. So it was this red and yellow logo that was developed. So the legacy of Keith is that he actually gave us the business model and he gave us the name. He unfortunately left after 5 years. So he's no longer remaining at Axis since then, but I'm a good friend of him still today. So this is the story of the logo and the company name. Thank you.